Hello and welcome to the Science of Creating Wealth and Abundance. I'm Dr. Jim Lewis and I'll be your host. Why are you here? I promise you're in good company. But let's cut to the chase. You may be tired of working for someone else, someone that doesn't appreciate you, or maybe they aren't even as smart or capable as you. Or you've experienced some hard knocks in life and would like to have a better life for yourself and your family. Or if you're like me, you make a lot of money for a while and then have a dry spell, leaving you thinking there's never enough. There's loads of reasons for wanting to make more money. You're tired of living paycheck to paycheck. You know people who have gotten ahead who aren't as hardworking as you are, and you feel betrayed. You can't afford to send your kids to college. Life is hard, and you don't seem to have answers. There is a God. Here's the solution to the money problem. I don't mean that in a sarcastic way. What I mean is there's a solution to the money problem, and I'd like to show you what it is. There's an actual science to making money. Actually, it's the science of living an abundant life in every way. It's the science of how consciousness works, a science that scientists themselves ignored for the first 100 years of psychology, but which the ancients knew at least 2,000 years ago. It took Napoleon Hill 25 years to rediscover them, but I'm going to share them with you in a whole lot less time, together with some techniques that have been learned since 1937 when Hill completed his research. And they are accessible, affordable, and learnable. This is an almost rags to riches or been there, done that story. Hi, I'm your host, Dr. Jim Lewis. And this program could actually be called Think and Grow Rich 2022. It's the classic program that Napoleon Hill developed back in the 30s, and it's been updated for the modern world. You know, I first learned about Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich when I was, about 12 years old. And I was captivated by the idea because, to be blunt, my family was on the verge or edge of being poor. And I was intrigued to learn that it wasn't necessary for us to stay that way. Though I can't claim to have practiced all the principles as diligently as some have done, I did apply them, and in my 60 years of working life, I've earned more than $5 million. In 2016, I semi-retired after 40 years of teaching seminars. But this year, I decided to help 1,000 or more individuals learn how to build wealth and abundance. There are nearly 22 million millionaires in the U.S. alone. I'd like to be able to help you be one of them. This could be called a 25-year labor of love, learning from wealthy people. Napoleon Hill spent 25 years interviewing wealthy individuals in the U.S., and altogether there were around 500 of them. And he did this at the suggestion of Andrew Carnegie, who was already a wealthy man himself. He was in the steel business and had immigrated here from Scotland. What Hill discovered was that there were 13 principles that were common to most of these individuals, and these formed the basis of his 1937 book, Think and Grow Rich. Since then, there have been many advances made in psychology, such as the development of neuro-linguistic programming, or NLP, that make it easier to apply some of the principles, and I've incorporated those into my course, The Science of Creating Wealth and Abundance. This course might be called Think and Grow Rich on steroids. Go through a brief summary of the 13 principles. Now, in the course itself, which lasts for 12 weeks, we'll be learning one or two of these principles each week. And of course, we'll be going into significant detail, but I'd like for you to know just how simple they are actually. You know, the first one is called simply desire. And What it means is you got to really want wealth bad enough to pursue it. A lot of people say, I'd like to have a lot of money, but they're not strong enough in their desire to actually work on it. The second principle is called faith. You need to trust that these principles actually work. And that's not so easy to do because some people have been raised with a poverty consciousness and they don't think that the principles can help them. The third principle is autosuggestion. That is, making suggestions to yourself to the effect that you will be wealthy so that you program your mind for wealth. The fourth principle is called specialized knowledge. It's interesting if you think about the 22 million millionaires in the United States. You might think some of them don't have specialized knowledge. For example, many of those millionaires are artists. They're singers, songwriters, performers of some kind, actors, actresses. And you say they don't have specialized knowledge. Well, they do. They have the knowledge of music, or they have the knowledge of acting, and so on. And surprisingly, there aren't as many technical people and college graduates in that as you might expect. And we'll talk more about that in the course. The next principle is having an imagination, and I can't emphasize strongly enough, the power of your imagination is immense. And the trick is to learn to use it properly. Too often people think about imagination as daydreaming and wasting time. But before he passed away, Walt Disney was asked, are you sad that you won't see one of your projects completed? And he said, you know, if I hadn't already seen it, you never would. What he meant by that was he had seen it in his mind. And always things out here begin inside. The next principle is organized planning. The methods of project planning, which I've taught for nearly 40 years, can help you achieve your goals, and we'll look into that in more depth. The principle is called decision. You need to learn to be a decision maker. As you might have heard it said, he who hesitates is often lost. And so opportunities sometimes present themselves, and if you're not ready for them, you may let them slip by. Persistence. It's amazing that some folks give up just on the verge of success, whereas those who have persistence often win. The next principle is called the power of the mastermind. This was one of the most important factors in the success of people like Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, DuPont, Firestone, and others. They were all members of mastermind groups that meet on a regular basis to discuss their work and how to do it better. You might have heard it said again that that two heads are better than one. Well, if that's true, how about 3, 4, 5, or even 6? And we will have access to mastermind groups in this program so that you can participate if you're interested. The next principle is a little bit odd. Hill found that sexual energy can be transmuted into the energy of success. And that's not uncommon among people who do a lot of meditating, yogis and people of that nature, but it might sound a little bit new to people that are not in that realm. The next one is the brain and the subconscious. This is actually two principles in one, because the brain and the subconscious tend to be related to each other. And in this program, you'll learn how to use your brain properly and also how to program your subconscious for success and wealth success in particular. And finally, the last principle is called the sixth sense, which is another word for intuition. I've seen some studies done on decision making in business that have determined that gut feel, as they call it, tends to have a better outcome than what's called scientific decision making, where you look at decision trees and things of that nature and try to come up with a decision based on those. So we'll talk about how to use your sixth sense to get better outcomes for yourself. So let me tell you just a brief summary of what this course is like. It's, as I said earlier, 12 weeks long. But unlike most courses online, this one is not one of those that just leaves you hanging. This is supported by group coaching. So each week I conduct a group coaching session for the people that are enrolled in my courses. And that way I can sort of ensure that they get the most out of the course itself. It's been a huge component of my online project management programs, and I think you'll find it to be truly useful. So each week we're going to take one or two of the principles and learn how to apply them, and also how to enhance them with NLP methods. Here again, the principles themselves are very simple, but the application of them is not so simple, and this is what hangs up most people who try them. Each week, as I say, I'll conduct a group coaching session to keep you motivated for one thing, and to help you over the rough spots and help all of you support each other. That's one of the benefits of going through a class like this together. You will also receive weekday tips on how to get the most out of the program. These will be emailed to you on a daily basis, Monday through Friday. And you'll have the option to participate in a mastermind group, as I told you earlier, and I'll be hosting that group. So this is where your fee for the program is going, is into the work that I'm going to be doing with you. Personal coaching is available to help you make career and life decisions if you need it. The group coaching is included in the price of the program, but one-on-one coaching, which is much more intense, is available at extra cost. And you will see an offer for that when you take a look at the sign-up. The total value of the program comes out to be more than $7,000, but your cost is $997, and this can be paid in 3 monthly payments. And when you enroll in the program, you'll have that option to pay over time. The link to the web page where you can sign up is tinyurl.com/LewisTGR2022. tinyurl.com/LewisTGR2022. And that'll take you directly to the sign up page. I want to thank you for attending this very brief webinar. I know that people are really busy these days, and I used to do 1-hour webinars, and I found that people started dropping out pretty quickly after about 15-20 minutes in, so I try to limit them now to around 15 minutes. And so thank you for attending. If you have any questions, go to my website, lewisinstituteinc.com, and use the contact us sign up form, or else you can use the appointment form and schedule a phone call with me to talk about the program, and I'll be glad to answer your questions. So hope you got some useful information from this, and I also hope to see you in the program. So take care of yourselves, and once more, thanks for attending.